It's Joel.
The podcast.
Bzzz. Hello, everybody. I'm Alex,
And I'm Alex.
and this is our podcast,
Joel.
Welcome to episode 136 of Joel the Podcast. We're excited that you're here. I first wanted to start off by letting everyone know that Nathan owes me $1.
Yeah, you are absolutely right for reasons I'm sure we'll get into in the sports minute, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, like you're upset that the Patriots won.
No, I'm
Didn't win,
upset
I mean?
that I owe you $1. Well, I mean,
Got
indirectly,
it.
I suppose I'm upset the Patriots didn't win. But
Yeah. Okay. I guess let's get into the sports minutes. So, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Good for them.
and yep.
Their first win in, 13 years? They won in 2013, I think.
Yeah,
I
I
guess that'd be
think
12 years.
I think you're right. They won in what feels like recent memory, but is actually over a decade ago.
Yeah. It's really crazy how long ago things are now. It's like 2000, it's like the late 2000s, which feels like it shouldn't be that long ago, or is now like almost 20 years ago.
I was in a meeting at work today, and somebody referenced they were talking about, this was a guy who's been at the company for a while. They were talking about how some things haven't changed in a while, and he had in his presentation a slide from 2015, which looked extremely dated, but had, like, the content on the slide was like relevant, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so it was very interesting to think about this guy working there 11 years ago or whatever, and me graduating high school.
Yep. I was talking to some people about the song Year 3000 by the Jonas Brothers.
I'm familiar.
Are you
Yep.
Yeah, and I like have a distinct memory of like being on a plane, and it was like one of those back when they had like radios in the armrest where you could like plug your headphones in and like
Yeah.
tune the radio or whatever and listen to
Yeah.
that song. I was like, that feels like it was a while ago. When do you think that song came out? Turns out the song came out in 2007, 19 years ago. Wow.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's the sports minutes. Actually, wait.
Should we talk about any other sports?
Let's talk about the Olympics, the Winter Olympics.
Yes.
I wanna comment. I don't know what your experience with the Winter Olympics is / has historically been, but I really enjoy getting like glimpses of sports that I haven't thought about in probably about 4 years since the previous Winter Olympics, but then getting really invested again. I think that's something that's really interesting about the Olympics, is that like I don't care about these sports at all, but they're incredibly interesting to watch.
Yeah, I find them, well, so they can be very interesting to watch. Some of them are really interesting. Some of them are more interesting to watch highlights of.
Yeah.
Like today I didn't have work because it's President's Day.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. Did you have work? You had work.
I did.
Your
Yeah. I was
company
talking
doesn't
about
respect
how
the
I was at a
presidents?
meeting at work earlier.
Oh, I didn't immediately realize that was today.
That was today. Yeah. Yeah. The meeting was about how we hate all the presidents. You're right.
Okay, good, got it.
And we did back in 2015 too.
Yeah, so I didn't have work today, so I ended up, and I had really nothing to do, so I ended up putting some different Olympics events on, and like, man, watching just like 2 hours of ski jump is not that interesting. Like, A, the U.S. really wasn't competitive in it.
Yeah.
But B, like every ski jump looks exactly the same. Like it's not.
Yeah. That is interesting. That's an interesting example. The ones that I was watching and thinking of as I was describing my feelings about it this was actually last weekend primarily when I was watching. It was figure skating, like the various figure skating events, and there was a snowboard jump one where everybody was doing basically the same snowboard spin off the ramp, right? There's like limited things you can do jumping off a single ramp on a snowboard. But even that, like maybe it was just because like the American was in first place, but like the second place guy had yet to do his next jump. So if he got like a particular score, he was gonna like go he's gonna beat him, right? So it was, I don't know, maybe there's just the drama of the storylines and the sport itself is not that interesting, but I
Well,
thought
to
even
me,
that was compelling.
here's the keys to me to for an Olympic event to be interesting to watch. And like most events have, events have different levels of each of these things. But like number one, it can't be too long. Like that's actually my main issue with figure skating, which is that each, like, especially once you get to like the free skate, which is like the longer one, I think.
Sure.
Each pair is like, 3 to 5 minutes, right? So
Yeah.
or whatever. So like in order to watch like 5 pairs, that's just 5 pairs is 15 minutes, and they have like 16 pairs that go. So it's like it's just so long to watch even a little bit of it. But whereas something like speed skating is really short and visceral, and that's like really good. Second is easily understood stakes, or like not stakes, but like you can tell by watching who's winning and who's not.
Yeah.
Like, this is the problem I had with ski jump. Is you watch a jump and you're like, that looked exactly like every other jump I've watched. Like, I guess I could see the score at the end of it, but like, I don't know. It's just really hard to like be excited by any individual jump.
Sure.
When you don't know how good it was.
Sure. That is probably the biggest downside of the figure skating, which I generally find very compelling and interesting just to like watch people do these things that they're capable of. But the scoring is a complete mystery. And the fact that they are like, I don't know if you're familiar or the listeners are familiar, so I'll just describe. The way the event works is, as you say, there's like a 3 to 5 minute performance that they're doing, and there's like a base score for every complicated jump or spin or whatever that they attempt in this routine, which is all kind of choreographed together into a fluid thing. But each component of it has a base score that they then get more or less points based on the judges' opinions of how well they did. I'm sure there's like real criteria that are being used, right? But it's somebody's like judging you on how well you did the thing. Those, as you go through your routine, you're like banking points based on doing all these things. And then at the end of the routine, there's an additional, also seemingly completely subjective, massive chunk of score that gets added on. Like you finish your routine with like 50 or 60 points, and then your final score is like 100 points because there was just this secret second half that was happening also, like entirely based on the judges. And yeah, that is the downside, I think, of figure skating.
Yep.
The funny story based on that is we were watching the pairs event, one of the pairs events. I don't know what all the events are, but there was a couple from, I think it may have been. I'm not even gonna guess. It was some country that the announcers were just roasting. Like they were doing a fine job. They looked really impressive. But the announcers were just like, yeah, and that's just, they're not competitive on this level. And it's like they weren't messing up their tricks or anything. They just like, I guess they weren't doing more impressive versions of things, but it was just a complete disconnect between like me watching these people do incredible like spinning jumps on ice skates and the announcers just trashing their entire performance. So.
Yeah. So then I'll say, so that's number 2.
Yeah.
Number 3 is, oh man, now I forgot it. Since you're long rant about figure skating.
Maybe I should rant some more, and then it'll come back.
Okay, I'll tell you number 4 while I try to remember number 3, which is like only a pseudo thing, but it's like, is the United States competitive in it?
Sure.
Because it's also a lot less interesting if the United States is not competitive in it. But yeah, cannot remember number 3, so I guess that's embarrassing. We could sit here for like 90 seconds and I would remember it, but also it's bad podcasting to sit here for 90 seconds. So
what if we do it anyway? I'll continue to talk about my opinions on the Olympics while you just think.
All right, in 90 seconds, if I don't have it, we'll move on.
Okay.
So go ahead and talk.
All right. I think your point about whether or not the United States is competitive is compelling because it's like a default person for me to root for. But there was an event that was some kind of like downhill ski race, but it was one person at a time, and it was being timed. Um, the I don't know how they choose the order that the competitors go down in, but they had three Swiss, I think it was Swiss, skiers in a row, and each of them set the new top score. So at the end of the three Swiss people going, the podium was all three Swiss people, and then it ended up a couple of Italians did better. But it was, I think, things like that are also like not U.S. centric, but just kind of like interesting quirks. And I think it did help that the announcers were saying that like no country has ever taken the entire podium in this event. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm a Switzerland fan now. That'd be pretty neat. All
So
right.
not while you were talking, not only did I come up with number 3, I also came up with an additional number 5. So we'll go with
Amazing.
that. So number 3 is how visually impressive is the thing?
Sure.
Like, like this is where figure skating gets high marks because what they're doing is like really impressive and cool looking. Whereas ski jump is like pretty schmeh. It's like they go down a track with grooves, they jump off and they don't do any tricks and then they land. It's like okay, I mean I obviously couldn't really do that, but like it's not like oh this is so amazing.
Yeah.
And that's also one that hurts curling. Like curling is kind of cool for like the strategy, stakes
Right.
easily understood. Mostly, I was watching curling and some of the strategies they're using. I'm like, why are they doing that? That makes no sense. And I'm sure they know what they're doing, but it's like I don't get it. But you know, it doesn't look that impressive,
Right.
Unless they get like a really precise shot, that looks kind of cool. But like, and then number 5 is how visually different each person doing it is. Like in ski
like-
jump, every single person looks the same.
Right. Right.
Or like moguls, every single person looks the same.
yeah.
But like in like curling or figure skating, it's clearly a different thing. Like you can clearly discern the differences each time. So that's also a helpful thing. So anyway, I really have been enjoying speed skating. And I also actually this is kind of weird based on the criteria I just laid out, but I enjoyed watching bobsled today too. Probably not for too long.
Yeah.
But that one is kind of cool looking because they're going really fast. You generally see the things that make them do well versus not, like when they bump into walls versus not, or
Right.
they kind of skid sideways. That one is kind of repetitive, like everyone looks the same doing it, so that is a downside. But the U.S. had like multiple people in the top, so that's one of the reasons why I thought it was fun to watch.
All right. Which Winter Olympic sport do you think you personally would do best at, just like in your current condition right now? No training or anything.
My current condition with no training, so most of the sports I probably couldn't even do. Like
Right.
I would probably wipe out or fall or hurt myself in many of them.
Right.
So like speed skating, for example, I would obviously be bad, but I could at least do it. Like I could skate around in an oval. Like I could definitely do that.
Yep.
So that's one thing. Curling, probably similar. I could probably do it, but obviously very badly. Those are the ones that come to my mind. I know how to ski, but I don't ski that often because I don't enjoy it that much. So I'd be very bad. Probably any skiing event or snowboarding event I would not be able to do. So, what about you?
Yeah, I think my gut feeling is I would be pretty good at speed skating and no better than mediocre at anything else of the things that I was even capable of doing. So
Right.
I think that's kind of got to be my default.
Fair enough. So, now last thing before we exit the sports minutes. One thing that interests me about Winter Olympics is how different, like what countries are good at the Summer Olympics is so different from what countries are good at the Winter Olympics in general.
Yes.
And I realized today that I hadn't seen a single medal count until today.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen any medal counts?
I I think I know the general idea, but I don't actually know. I haven't seen any counts recently. So like, isn't Norway doing quite well, and then probably other Scandinavian, Swiss. I have no idea beyond that actually.
Yeah, so you're right that Norway is in first place with 28 total medals and
Yeah.
first place with 12 gold medals. Second is Italy, the host country.
Mm,
And then third is United States. Fourth is Netherlands. Well, actually, this is by gold and not by total medals.
sure.
Um, and then fifth is Austria. So, anyway, pretty interesting.
Yeah. My last contribution, and this is maybe a good transition out of sports and into recommending additional content after you've re-listened to all of our podcast episodes and you're looking for other stuff you might be interested in. You mentioned the which countries are good at which things, and that brought to mind. I'm trying to find the guy's name because I want to say the name of his channel. I think it's Matt or maybe Matthew. Where is he? Come on, buddy. Where are you at? Michael. Michael McKelvey. Have you heard of this guy?
No.
Okay, I would recommend checking out his YouTube channel. It's kind of sports oriented, but in like a introspective analysis sort of way. So if you like sports and you like analyzing sports and like discussing the, I don't know, bigger concepts at play, he makes really interesting stuff. And what I watched recently that you just reminded me of is I think maybe his most recent video or one of his most recent videos about why America is not as good at the Winter Olympics and why Norway, for example, is very good. And it comes down, I don't know. I won't spoil the video. Go watch the video. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So let's exit the sports minute. I really intended to say this near the beginning, but I do want to apologize on this episode for the fact that I am still recovering right now from kind of a cold that I've had. So if you hear me sniffle or blow my nose, I know that's probably not that nice to listen to. So I apologize in advance.
Yeah, same actually. So we'll see how this, as we continue to talk for a while, we'll see how we hold up.
Yeah. Okay, so did we receive any emails this week?
That is a great question that I am absolutely prepared for. And so as I look
It's like this man, it's like it's not our 136th episode of the podcast.
I'm just slowly turning my head from one monitor to the other to build suspense because I obviously have the page pulled up. We did not, in fact, receive any emails.
Wow.
I will take partial blame for not having uploaded episodes recently, but
Maybe, but I feel like we haven't received an email in a while, and we have uploaded episodes. So like,
yeah, the last email actually was received 2 months ago as we record this. So there have been a few episodes since then. Maybe they were just bad.
then email us and say they're bad. I mean, come on.
You can't just say it's bad. Nice. All right.
I turned away from my my phone, so we'll see how that came across audio wise. Okay, so let's get into this episode. So the context is we've been listening to old episodes, as I think we've mentioned, and I've actually been kind of enjoying the episodes where we just kind of answer questions from Quora, and we don't really do that anymore. I think I think the impression that I had was just that it was very low effort and bad, but that's not the impression that I get listening back to them. So I think we're going to try it again here, going through Quora and answering some questions, and let us know what you think about this episode format at by going to our website, alexandalex at joelthepodcast.github.io/alexandalex at joelthepodcast.website/index.html, clicking on the link there to email us and letting us know what you think. All right.
Yep.
Without further ado, do you want to start with a question?
Let's start. I actually want to start with this looks to be a story. And I don't think I'm going to read the whole thing to you because it's quite long, but I'll try and pick out some of the highlights here. So this is a post. I don't know how Quora works anymore. This is in the artists artwork category. And this post reads, at a medical school, a professor looked at a student and asked, how many kidneys do we have? 4, the student answered. 4, the professor replied, sounding proud and ready to embarrass the student. He was one of those teachers who enjoyed pointing out others' mistakes. And so there's a bit here where the professor is roasting this guy and getting really mad. And as he left the room, the student boldly corrected the angry professor. You asked me how many kidneys we have. We have 4 kidneys. 2 are mine and 2 are yours. The word we means more than one person. And so that is in the artists artwork category, and I thought that was a great reintroduction to
share
us for our Quora to really, set the tone. But I'll toss it back to you. What do you got over there?
All right, here's a good question that I think we can answer.
Yeah.
Why do Aldi checkout staff always scan items at top speed with no regard for your ability to match their pace loading items into your bag or cart?
All right. I have never worked at Aldi, so this is an unofficial opinion. But I have to imagine that if the Aldi person was going slower than you loading things onto the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they would be wasting your time, which seems like kind of a rude thing for a business to like be doing to you. So I'm sure there's some incentive that Aldi, instructs their employees to go as quickly as possible so that the customers feel like they're the ones wasting Aldi's time and therefore apologetically come back to buy more food.
It's interesting that you say that because let me read you the first 2 paragraphs of the answer here on Quora.
Okay.
This person says, I'm a current employee of my local Aldi in America and have been for 2 months. Knowing that, let me tell you this, Aldi would give Big Brother a run for their money. I work part-time or on weekends, and so as a result, I am almost always the primary or backup cashier because so much foot traffic is going on in the store. And let me tell you, everything you do at the register is timed. They want efficiency, and if you do not meet the standards, you will be held accountable for it.
Wow. Wow. I would not have predicted such extreme tactics by honestly any employer. I don't think any employer at all, regardless of like service industry or whatever, had I would not have guessed that they had that much control over I don't know what I'm saying. The fingers are curled and the fist is shaking a little bit.
I really wish people could see your
Yeah.
motions right now.
Yep.
Yeah, when I asked this question, I had not read the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of thought it was just like a funny question. Like, you just have a zealous checkout person at your Aldi? I don't know. Like, so it's kind of funny that not only did you then give an answer that was like, the Aldi probably actually just wants them to go as fast as possible. Then the actual answer was like, Aldi wants them to go as fast as possible and tracks them how fast they're going.
Yeah, apparently there are consequences if you're not going fast enough. So I'm really curious. What do you think I think they said you'll be held accountable if you don't go fast enough. Was that the phrase?
Yes, that's what they said.
What do you think how are they held accountable?
I'm scrolling through the answer to see if they uh if they say what they mean.
All right, while you look, I'm going to guess. I think the way they
Okay.
would do it is by making you stay after closing and scan every item in the store as like training to speed up.
So reading the answer, they don't say. I'm guessing. I mean, I guess what's implied is that they would fire you, or like if you're not fast enough, they would fire you. That's what's being implied by this person here.
Yeah.
I think that if it doesn't go fast enough, the conveyor belt that conveys the items. Actually, do they have that at Aldi? Yes, right?
I would assume. I've only been to Aldi like once or twice, so I don't actually
Yeah, it's
know.
been a while since I've been to Aldi. But I think they have that.
Yeah.
Conveyor belt, it just keeps pushing the items at the rate no matter what. So like if you don't scan them that fast, you're just gonna
Right.
items are gonna pile up on you and crush you.
Right.
Like
There are natural
that's the danger.
consequences that are
Yes.
immediately being applied to you. It is a hazard to your health. You'll be buried in an avalanche of goods.
Nice. All right, do you have a question from your side?
All right. So this is political. I feel like we could take this not seriously.
Sure.
Americans, if you are dissatisfied with the current two-party system, what kind of third party would you want?
The Joel Party.
I like the game we play?
It's really funny you said that because I thought it sounded like Jeopardy as soon as I said it. No, this is the Joel Party. Although maybe we just say it like that to make people think it's a game and then they'll vote for us.
And then we rise to power and we crush them like
Right.
Aldi crushes its cashiers.
Yes, and just to be just to be clear, the Joel Party is you and me. We're the Joel Party.
Yes, yeah. If we were elected president, would we both be president and vice president?
It's interesting you say that. I feel like what we would do is our ticket would be Alex and Alex, so no
Right.
one would know
Right.
which of us. Like, probably there would have to be like a technical someone was president and someone was vice president, but I feel like we could do a lot to obscure who that was.
We just always give joint addresses and like
Yeah, we
we
like
just
the commercials
both sign
never make
every
it
bill
clear.
for some reason.
We both have a copy of the bill. We both sign it, and then one of them is secretly shredded while the other one is passed in Congress, and we have the same signature, so they never know which one is the real bill.
It just says Alex. We don't know who the president is. Wow,
What is-
actually, this is genius.
What do you feel should our number one platform item be?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I feel like there are just too many things in this country that aren't named Joel.
Like instead of Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, it should just be called Joel. Gulf of Joel. Should be called Joel or Gulf of Joel, do you think?
Joel of Joel? No, that's kind of stupid. Just Joel, I think.
Just Joel works.
Yeah, I think we should abolish the Senate and instead have 100 Joels that serve the exact same function as the Senate. It's just
I actually think we should keep the Senate, but still call the members of the Senate Joels. The Honorable Joel from Minnesota.
All right, there's a new law that every representative, everyone in the House, has to be named Joel or Jolene. I don't want to be too exclusionary.
Sure. Actually, now that we're talking about this, I feel like the rules of our podcast, many of them could be made into law.
Oh, yeah, you're right. And I'm also remembering a discussion we had about our amendments to the legal system on the June 30th, 2024 podcast episode. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I remember discussing it. I don't remember what we said.
Okay. I don't remember the full details either, but whatever legal system we settled on there, I feel like would be a pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure it was great. So let's do that.
Yeah. Other things we could do. I think I've done my taxes this year. Have you done your taxes?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay. I got a tax return.
Uh-huh.
No, I filed a tax return. I got a tax refund. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Because I paid
Okay.
too much in taxes. And
Classic
I
blunder.
think paying too much in taxes should actually be illegal. I should have just gotten that money in the first place. That's a key
What do you
issue for the
mean?
Joel party. They should have just given me that money.
Your company?
No, like the government. When I sent them the tax money and they were like, oh, no, 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 this is too much. They should just give it back immediately.
Well, first of all, you didn't send it to it. Your company did, I assume. But also, the government doesn't know how much taxes you're supposed to pay until the end of the year.
That's true, but we should change it. It should be better than that.
Okay, got it. They should just know. That's part of our platform. The government just knows how much.
Yeah, actually, everybody owes $10,000 in taxes every year. Just a flat rate. That way, if you're paying a different amount, then they'll know it's wrong. That's how you do it. That's the easiest way. And like, if you're really
All
rich,
right.
you pay $100,000 instead.
Really rich is just like vibe space, like you know if you're really rich.
Yeah, and more importantly, we know if you're really rich.
We
and
know,
can
yeah.
charge you appropriately.
The $100,000 instead of the $10,000.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that pretty much covers that question. Do you agree?
Yeah, I can't think of any more important issues facing the country that we would need to account for in our political platform. So that about does it.
All right, let's go to this next, much less controversial question. Is there any evidence that Satan exists?
Ooh. All right, I'm not a lawyer, and this isn't legal advice. Just wanted to make sure that was clear. I'm not sure
Sure.
what the answer to this question is.
Okay, got it.
Didn't want to be like held accountable in a court of law.
Let me ask you this. Do you think they meant Satan or they meant Santa and just made a typo?
That's a good question. I feel like the evidence that Santa exists is much less compelling. I think that
Well, sorry, that implies that you do know of evidence that Satan exists, but just we're withholding it from the podcast.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of religious tradition surrounding Satan that
Uh-huh.
if, an, one may believe that some of that holds evidence basedness to it, whereas everything I've ever heard about Santa, I think, can be adequately explained by someone who's not Santa doing it instead.
Well, what about this? Santa's in movies.
Oh, I have seen Santa in movies before, and I would say that the fact that every time, in every movie franchise, he's played by a different actor doesn't make me think that Santa is playing Santa in the movie.
Oh, okay, I'm
But-
with you. No. I'm not trying to say like that's real Santa in the movies. My point
Okay.
is the movies can't make a movie about a fake person, right?
Oh, no, of course, right. But yeah, I'm just thinking that that's not like direct evidence. That's just like the movie evidence, right? The different, as we all know, the different standards of evidence.
Yeah, and I think that there are more movies about Santa than Satan. So that kind of is like a point in Santa's favor.
Yeah, I think that's probably true, actually, now that I think about it. I can think of at least like 4 or 5 movies about Santa just off the top of my head. And I can't think of any movies with Satan in them, actually.
Well, I feel like I haven't seen any like of these like horror like movies that are about that could include Satan.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they specifically mentioned Satan or they're more like just like demons. But so I guess I was kind of assuming that they would have Satan in them. So, there's probably a movie. There must be, right? I guess if Satan isn't real, then there might not be. All right, if you're Satan, send us an email and let us know if you're real. Also, Santa. If you're Santa, send us an email
Yeah.
and let us know if you're real.
Should bet $1 on which one of those will happen first.
I think we're probably good there.
All right.
What's your next question?
All right, my next question is, what's a money tip that the average person will never know?
Is this an advertisement?
Oh, yes, it is.
Because I have a bunch of those ads like, how can I earn $300 a day?
Cora, you sly
rascal.
dog.
That's so funny. Okay, hold on. Let's answer it though. What's a money tip? What's the question? What's a money tip that people don't know?
What's a money tip that the average person will never know?
We'll never know. Okay, so I think the tip is that it's possible to cut up a $5 bill and then reassemble the pieces such that you get two $5 bills. As long as you rearrange the pieces properly.
Right. That's a great point. And I'm pretty sure the rules are the bank has to take it and give you a fresh one if the bill you bring in is more than half of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you take your one $5 bill and you cut it up into two full $5 bills, even if it's just little piles of shreds, that'll be more than sufficient, I think, for the bank to compensate you.
Now, I will say I've never seen this happen in real life, but I have seen a pretty convincing animation on Facebook, so that's my source for this, but I'm pretty sure it's real. They can't put fake stuff on Facebook.
Was that animation secretly an ad?
I didn't notice at the time. I really thought it was just trying to help me out by showing me that... Well, actually, in the animation, it was a chocolate bar and not a $5 bill, but I'm pretty sure the same logic holds up.
I have seen that, and I do think the logic would hold up. I can't think of any reason it wouldn't.
Right.
Um,
Well, and actually, in the animation, it's not like a full other chocolate bar that you get out of it.
right.
It's just one square of chocolate. So, but I feel like if you do it enough times, the same logic holds
yeah.
up.
But I guess my question then would be, would you get the same extra piece of the $5 bill every time, or could you do it in such a way that the pieces that you get end up tiling the full rest of the bill, right? Because I could see
that I do not know.
I could see you getting a complete $5 bill, and then just who's on the $5 bill? Is it Lincoln? Lincoln's
Yes.
face every single time, for example.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. In the animation, it just did the same piece over and over again, because for chocolate, that doesn't matter.
Right.
But I feel like, there's probably a clever way you could do it to get different pieces. Now, could you get every piece? I guess you only need over half the pieces, right? You don't need every piece.
Right, just over half the pieces, or a piece big enough that it's just bigger than half. I think I know the chocolate animation that you've seen, and the piece that you get out is pretty small, right? Not close to
Right.
half.
It's like one square of a chocolate bar.
Yeah. So.
So,
Well, I think this is worth some additional research. I feel like we've given a pretty compelling case that it would, in fact, work, and we just now need somebody to cut up their $5 bill to prove us correct.
yeah, somebody check this out. Look up the animation that I'm talking about, then try it with your $5 bill repeatedly, obviously, because you need to get more than just that small piece, and let us know. Let us know how it works. And we will not be refunding you, but if you do generate infinite money this way, please share some of it with us.
Absolutely, yeah. I
At our
would appreciate,
Patreon.
yeah, I would appreciate an extra $5 that you managed to conjure out of thin air. It's the least you could do after we gave you this money multiplying tip that you would otherwise have never known, or the average person will never know.
Yep. All right, next question is, what do KFC stores do with all the leftover chicken?
I feel like this question assumes a couple of things. The first is that there is leftover chicken. Do you think there's
Sure.
compelling evidence that there's ever leftover chicken?
Have you ever been to KFC?
I have been to KFC.
And when you order chicken, do you think they cook it like when you order it, or it's already cooked?
It's probably already cooked because it comes out pretty quick, right? They're not like
Right.
they don't have a fresh
So then,
chicken
like,
in the back.
No, I agree with you.
Uh-huh.
So my conclusion is, I guess this is an evidence. It's just kind of speculation, but
Uh-huh.
my conclusion then is that they don't know how many people are going to come exactly. I wouldn't think. I guess that I never thought about that, but I don't
Sure.
think they know how many people are going to come. So it's likely that they cook some chicken
Uh-huh.
that is not purchased. Right? That seems to make sense.
Well, so there's the alternate case that I've never been to KFC late at night. I'll say that to say that I don't know what the answer to this question is. Maybe we can reason a solution here, but it could be that they cook an amount of chicken, and then when they have sold that amount of chicken, the store closes for the day until they cook some more
Ah.
chicken.
So what?
Like,
So like, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
In that scenario, I've never looked. I don't. Not that I can remember, at least. Looked to see if Chick-fil-A, if KFC had like a closing time.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that they don't have a closing time, or they have a closing time but they just close before that if they finish the chicken? In that scenario, where they just make a certain amount of chicken.
I think they just don't have a closing time. I think they just have an amount of
Interesting.
chicken that they expect to sell in a day. And they're probably generally correct because they sell chicken every single day, so they've probably gotten pretty good at predicting. And so most of the time I'm sure they can, like a really good KFC manager, I bet, can probably close within like a 5-minute window at the end of the day, like precisely predicting the amount of chicken, right? That's probably a pretty good feeling.
All right. Well, we have no evidence. This is all speculation, but you heard it here first. There is no leftover chicken. They sell all the chicken and then close.
Yep.
What's the next question?
All right. I am scrolling past many, many things that are either like medical related for some reason or way too political for this podcast, especially because any politics we discuss is now going to be our competition, and it wouldn't be
Right.
like it's illegal.
We don't want to
I
help
think,
other people.
yeah, we don't want to help.
All right, I'll ask the next question.
Yep.
This question comes to us from Quora. I have a lot of anger. I'm very angry at a lot of the people I met in the past, and I'm even angry at you right now. What should I do?
Wow. I don't know what we did to upset you, random Quora poster, but I am not sorry because I don't know. So how could I be sorry?
Uh-huh. What should they do, though?
They should stop because I'm not sorry. What was I supposed to do?
Well, I don't. They're not. The question isn't anything
This seems
to do
like
with what
their
you should
fault. Listen, I did not do anything wrong here, and I am confidently asserting that I am justified in being angry at their anger at me.
do. So what are you going to do about it?
I don't know.
You should probably post a question to Quora
I could
to
post
find
to
out.
Quora to find out. That's true. Have there been any good answers? Maybe that'll tell me whether or not it's likely that I trust my
There
feelings
seem
to
to.
Quora.
There's. I mean, I think the answers here are pretty good. They're all about like feelings and therapy and stuff like that. It seems legit to me.
I mean,
This person says part of you is horrified at the thought we're all alone and have no one to guide us.
whoa. Now I'm angry at that person.
Oh wait, sorry. This is an answer to a related question. Why do I get angry when things don't go my way?
Oh, well, that's because things don't. That's perfectly natural. If something mildly inconveniences you, or you think things are going to happen in a particular way, and they happen in a slightly different but possibly roughly equivalent way, the only
Uh-huh.
natural response is blind fury.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the just so you know, the qualifications of the person answering this question is anger control problems, never spent a night in jail.
Ah. All right. Here we go. This is not a sponsored question. I've been tricked once, I'll never be tricked again. Why does the hook on the end of the tape measure always jiggle? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's a diagram here that
Uh,
I can share my screen if we need to.
well, you should verbally explain the diagram so that the listeners can also
Okay,
benefit from it.
that's a good point. So what we're looking at is a picture of a tape measure. And
Sure.
if you're not familiar with what a tape measure is, it's like a little box with some stuff on it, and then from one part you can pull on a little tab, and a tape comes out of it because inside the box there's actually a bunch of that tape coiled up.
Hmm.
And written on the tape are a bunch of lines and numbers that help you measure things.
Sure.
And so this is a picture of that. And the
Uh-huh.
tape is
And
pulled out.
what do you tape it onto usually?
Oh, so it's not sticky tape. It's just like a.
Oh,
It's like a.
what other kind of tape is there?
There's measure tape, which isn't sticky.
Okay.
So if you can imagine,
So after
actually,
after you so like normal tape, you pull it out of the coil,
yep,
right? You tear it off and you put it on something.
yeah,
In this one, you tear it off, but it's not sticky, so you just kind of like lay it on there to measure.
yes, and also you don't tear it off.
You don't tear it off.
No, actually, this is really impressive about a tape measure is that instead of pulling it and then tearing it off because you're done with it, you pull it out and then you let it
Uh-huh.
go and it can go back.
Whoa.
In fact, if you pull it out and you don't continue to like keep holding on to it, it'll automatically go back.
That's pretty crazy. I have something similar right here. This is my speed mark.
Oh yeah,
Um,
okay. I've seen these
it's
before.
it's very it seems kind of similar to what you're talking about,
Right.
but obviously this is not tape, so or maybe it is tape and I just don't know what tape is.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
tape is I would call tape like you remember VHS? Those like boxes
yeah,
of,
those little
of film?
rectangles that had videos on them.
Yes. So the video is actually on tape. And so like you can think of old tape. That's also yeah, you've got some tape there. That's presumably
This one doesn't go back.
some adhesive tape. Yeah, so now
Keep going.
now if you,
VHS.
okay, VHS. So like the thing that movies is on is also tape. So actually the modern tape is just it's actually just magic because there's no more like physical thing that data is stored on. Data just like magically exists inside computers now
I thought it was in the clouds.
and in the clouds. That's a good point. Lots of data is in the clouds.
Okay.
So back to the
Let's go back to the measuring tape.
back to the diagram. We've got this. It's pulled out about 2 inches from the box, and the thing it's labeled on the diagram as the thumb lock, which is the thing on the front of the box that you can push on, and if you push on it, the tape doesn't go back in, which is why it's called the thumb lock, because it locks
This is
the thumb.
remarkably similar to my speed mark.
Yeah, actually, I think your speed mark might be a direct descendant of the ancient tape measure.
It's ancient. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm learning something new all the time.
Yeah, like at least 50 or 60 years old, I bet. How
Uh-huh.
old are tape measures?
And then
New.
once you find
Try
that out, look
AI
up.
mode. Continue. Oh, I'm trying AI mode. Modern tape measures are roughly 200 years old. This is from, I think,
And then-
Gemini?
And then look up how old speed marks are.
Okay. How old are speed... Is speed mark one or two words?
It looks to be 2 words.
Oh, it's the professional speed mark. That's important.
Well, I thought the professional was the like because it's TM. I thought that was like the brand.
Oh, I thought the brand was Kamalon. What's Kamalon?
Well, that's the company, and then the brand is the professional, and then it's a speed mark.
Oh, okay. How
That's
old
how I read it.
are speed marks then? And it says searching. In the context of tape measures, speed mark refers to a specific branding of measurement markings designed for rapid reading, primarily popularized by brands like Sight One and others in the late 20th century. So I don't know what Sight One is, and I'm impressed that it came up with the context of tape measures because that is what we're talking about.
Well, it's not didn't come up with it. You first asked it a question about tape measures, so
Oh, I guess
that's
that's
how I knew
true.
the context.
Did you let me ask it. Did you know the context was tape measures because I asked that before? Yep, I totally followed you. Since we were just talking about tape measures, I stayed in that lane. I assumed you were asking about those handy little fractional numbers like 1/8, 1/4, 3/8 that some brands call speed marks to help you read the tape faster without counting ticks. Oh, yeah, your speed mark does have the speed marks.
How
So,
about that?
so should I say actually I was asking about my friend's speed mark, which has speed marks, but isn't one,
No, it is one.
but is one.
Yeah, it says it right on here.
It says it right on there. Searching. The Kamalon Speed Mark is a specific brand and model of tape measure, first introduced around 1999. So this is in
Oh my
fact
gosh.
newer than the presumed 200-year-old tape measures. That's
Yes, but also what we just learned is that this is a tape measure. It's not a separate thing.
Okay.
It said it's a brand of tape measure.
right. According to Gemini or whatever this is. So
Well, Gemini was right about everything else, so I kind of believe it in this instance.
yeah. That's good then. You've got a really good visual aid. So if you grab the little tip of your speed mark and can you wiggle it back and forth without moving the rest of the device?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. So the question is why is that? What does that do that for?
You know, you know who would know this? Gemini.
Gemini. Why does the little tip
That's a good question. I don't
Yeah.
actually know why this happens.
on the end of the speed mark wiggle
Maybe
a
it's
little
like
bit?
no, because the measurement should be the same regardless of whether you're pulling or pushing. Yeah, I have no idea why this would be.
That wiggle is actually a feature called True Zero, and it's there to make sure your measurements are accurate whether you are pushing or pulling. The tip guy, which is how I refer to it in the question, the tip guy, officially called the end hook, is designated to slide back and forth by the exact thickness of the hook itself. Outside measurement, when you hook the tape
Whoa.
over the edge of a board and pull, the hook slides out, creates a tiny gap so the measurement starts from the inside face of the hook. Then when you press the tape against a wall, it slides in and it measures from the outside face of the hook, now flush against a wall. Without that wiggle, your measurements would be off by about 1/16 of an inch, the thickness of the metal, every time you switch between pushing and pulling.
That is so smart.
Yeah, pro tip. This is important for the listeners as well. Try not to let the tape snap back into the case at full speed. Over time, that slamming can wear down the rivets, making the wiggle too big and ruining your accuracy.
For those of you who can't see, I'm extending my tape measure right to the camera.
It's really interesting as it goes like from kind of in front of you to a little bit off to either side. It like
Uh-huh.
comes way in and out of focus because of your background blur. And so it was very, very trippy to look at. Since you're checking out your friend's tape, do you want to know what that little hole in the middle of the metal tip is for? Do you have that? Is that real?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Do you know what that's for? I don't know.
Maybe to hook something onto it would be my guess.
Well, okay, I told it, hell yeah, brother, let me hear it. And it said that little slot in the tip, the nail grab, is there to be your extra set of hands. If you're working solo and don't have anyone to hold the other end of the tape, you can drive a nail or a screw into your starting point, hook the little hole over the head, and pull your measurement without the tape slipping off. Wow. You've also got the scribers. The edges of the hook are usually sharp and serrated. If you don't have a pencil handy, you can press the hook down and wiggle it to scratch a tiny mark into the wood.
This one is not sharp or serrated.
Oh, okay. That's probably a safety measure, I bet.
You probably have to get the speed Matthew instead of the speed Mark to get that feature.
That's that's probably true. Do you have the magnetic version of the speed mark?
How would I know that?
It's bold in the response, so I'm guessing it would be like on the label or something.
I don't see anything that says that.
Okay. Well, it says that some of them have a magnet in the tip, so you can stick it to something metal and then pull to measure. Want to know what those black diamonds on the blade are for? Or are you good on tool trivia for today? I don't know. I feel like we're coming to the end of our...
What's the blade?
What's the blade? Let me ask. What's the blade? The blade is the long, flexible metal strip with all the numbers and markings on it. So it means the tape.
Oh, okay. Got it. I don't see any diamonds on it, though.
Okay. It's essentially the ruler component of the tape measure. The Comelon Speed Mark uses a white or yellow steel blade with an acrylic coating to make it durable and easy to read. Is it white or yellow?
It is yellow.
Yeah, okay.
It says Dura nylon coat.
Dura
All right.
nylon.
Well, I think that we have thoroughly covered tape measures,
Yeah.
and we were extremely successful there.
We got the official answers.
Yes. Okay. Next question. What are some disadvantages of being a rich person?
Oh, I feel a little embarrassed to admit this on the podcast, but I actually am a rich person. Which I say this because I have a lot of money, which is what makes you rich.
Right.
And it's just sometimes it's just really inconvenient to know that other people can't do the things that I can do because they don't have as much money as me. And so, like, sometimes if I'm thinking about other people, I get a little sad. And so I have to go back to thinking about myself and all my money.
Right.
And that's probably the worst thing.
I would imagine that it's probably kind of annoying unless all your friends are rich.
Right.
That if they're not, then you might be hanging out with them and be like, "Hey, let's go like I don't know, go stay at like my dad's hotel or something like that."
Yep.
But they're all like, "We can't afford it." Like that'd probably be kind of annoying.
Yeah, that happens to me very rarely because I tend to, as soon as I meet new people, pose those questions as quickly as I can so that I can cut them out of my life immediately
Right.
upon finding
Because
that
they
they're-
make you sad.
Right, because they would make me sad ultimately, as I'm thinking about their situations, which is sad.
Right.
Yeah. What about you? I forget what the question was, but what's your answer to the question?
What are some disadvantages of being a rich person?
Oh, it's not really a disadvantage because I can still do whatever I want, given how rich I am.
Well, it is kind of a disadvantage because you're missing out on a lot of potential friends.
I suppose you could think of it that way.
Like I'm not saying that it doesn't outweigh being able to do whatever you want, but it's not like you can do whatever you want and be friends with whoever you want. Like there is like a drawback.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that is a slight drawback. Are there any disadvantages in your opinion?
To being rich, I feel like the protesters who are constantly outside of my mansion would be one. They're kind of annoying. It's like, bro, I'm trying to sleep. Why are you yelling about global warming or whatever?
Yeah.
So I just tell them to turn on the plane jets as like a white noise background so that drowns out the protesters.
That's good. I don't know if I'm on. Did you let me ask you this? When you went to Quora, did it have you log in?
Yes.
And did you log in as like Continue with Google as the podcast account, or are you using a
No,
different?
I continued with Google as my own account. I don't know the password to the podcast account.
Okay. I ask because I think we, maybe we have generally similar vibes of things that we're seeing, but I don't know if you're ignoring or just have not come across like weirdly medical or like more graphic imagery. Is that happening to you at all? I don't know what we've
It is
searched on the
not, no.
podcast account before, but
There's obviously
and
a ton of political questions
yeah.
and a weird number of physics questions. But no, I haven't come across any medical questions or medical imagery.
Okay. I feel like we must have accidentally done something of that sort before, and I'm just gonna like describe this to you because it's not like it's just off-putting is what it is. There's the post. I'll wow. I'm looking more and more at this post and discovering new wild aspects. The title of the post is 9 Interesting Facts About Your Body and Mind.
Is this sponsored as well?
It's not sponsored. It's posted by an account that looks like it's called RNC Live 3.0.
Okay.
The facts are, let's see if we can find out if any of this is relevant to the picture. Sleeping without a pillow can help relieve back pain. Not relevant. A person inherits their height from their father.
Do you want to describe the picture before like reading all the facts?
Yeah, okay. This is like a pencil illustration of two people kissing with a lot, and I mean a lot, of tongue. And the side of their face is cut away so that you can see the layers of like skin and muscles and nerves, and like it's very off-putting is how
I'm not sure if I want to ask how you can tell how much tongue they're using.
It is not subtle.
Like I feel like in a normal kiss, your mouths are like kind of like right up against each other. So like it's not, your tongue isn't like that visible, I wouldn't think, or visible at all.
So no, that's correct. But because of the way the side is cut off, that extends to like their mouth also. So
you can see how much tongue they're using because it's cut away on the side.
Correct. It is okay. Entirely visible. And so altogether too much.
Now continue with the facts. Continue with the facts.
A person inherits, this is the second fact, their height from their father and their weight from their mother. That does not feel true to me. That doesn't make any sense. If you suddenly feel tired, shake your head to help get your energy back. Maybe that's true. I would buy that.
Really?
I don't know if you could hear
what. Yes, because I don't know what that's going to sound like on the podcast, but he just shook his headphones off of his head.
The mind cannot ignore certain things like food, attractive people, and danger. Seems false. I ignore food plenty.
Yeah.
Not the other two, though.
My house has food in it all the time, and I'm not constantly thinking about it.
You are just like peering over the kitchen counter at the
My precious.
If you love learning new things, follow me for more information. That is a terrible fact about your body and mind. Listening to fast-paced music can increase your heart rate and energy. I would buy it. Chewing gum can improve memory and concentration.
That's not true.
That feels fake. Using a blue light filter on your devices can reduce eye strain. I think that's correct. Smiling even when you don't feel like it can boost your mood. That's propaganda by Big Smile. That was the ninth fact.
That's well known to be false.
Right. That's all 9 facts, and then it says if you
So clearly none of them had anything to do with the image.
no, not at all. And so they've injected this into my brain for no reason, and I can't stop looking at it.
All right, well, why don't you scroll to a different question
Oh
or
no.
post?
Oh, this next one is somebody using tweezers to pull something out of a
Okay,
pickle.
maybe you should go to a different part of Quora.
All right, let's go to the online
Or-
marketing Quora. That's
Honestly, here, listen to this question,
okay.
which you as a physics major only can answer. I cannot answer this
Yes,
question.
I'm so ready.
If you are traveling at nearly the speed of light,
Mm-hmm.
how fast is light traveling away from you?
The speed of light.
Okay, next question. How does an astronaut hear each other in space even when there's no air?
Actually, there is air. It's just inside their helmets. And so if they yell really loud, the air in their helmet shakes the air in the other person's helmet because there's like speakers and radio waves and stuff.
I thought you were I thought you were going to say there is air but it's just really diffuse so they have to speak really loudly.
Yeah, that could also be true. I don't think we've ever tested it without the radio waves because we just assumed that we had to use those.
Okay, now here's the next question. I was in line. This is not a physics question, sadly.
Okay.
I was in line at McDonald's, and I noticed that customers were choosing to wait in line to order with the cashier instead of using the available kiosks. Why do you think that is?
All right, there's 2 reasons that this could be. The first reason is what I think is maybe the more probable answer is that they did not notice the kiosks because sometimes when you go to a store like a McDonald's, the kiosks are not like right in the front by the cashiers. They're kind of on the side or something so that the people who do want to wait in line can just like not take up the space that the kiosk people would be using. You kind of separate them apart. But that means that you might not realize there's kiosks because you go in and then the natural place you go is just up to the counter. Plus, if you see a line of people waiting in the to get to the counter, you assume like, oh, that must be the only way. The second option, which I think is far less likely, is that people actually went into the McDonald's in order to have like a social face-to-face interaction with a person. And that's highly disturbing to me. I don't like to imagine that there's people out there that actually would do such a thing and interact with people when there's a fully automated way to order readily available there.
By the way, multiple, because you can download the app, too.
Oh, yeah, the app. Why are these people even inside this store? They should be in their cars using their phone on the app to say, bring me a McDonald's. And then, like, the DoorDash guy shows up to the McDonald's, carries it from the store to the car, and then everybody goes home like normal people.
Sorry, I just laughed because you said, bring me a McDonald's. Like, what they're ordering is, one McDonald's, please.
All right, if you know how McDonald's has, like, the McRib and the McChicken and stuff, what kind of food would the McDonald be?
Okay, my first thought is it's Ronald McDonald. Like, they cooked him up, and it's Ronald McDonald. Like, I don't think he's a human. Like, he's clearly some kind of mutant, I
No,
guess.
he's like a porcelain doll come to life. He is unnaturally white.
I thought he just had white, like, clown makeup on.
Nah, that's his skin.
Got it.
That's why they got rid of him. Makes people too uncomfortable when they realize.
Now, I want to step back because I think you left out an important reason why people might be standing in line. Actually, let me say something real interesting that I thought you said, and then I'll make the joke.
Okay.
So the real interesting thing was, you said some people came into the store and saw the line, so they just stood in it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's a legit thing. Like, people will come if like 2 or 3 people stood in the line and didn't go to the kiosk.
Yeah.
Well, other people when coming in might be like, "Oh, line, just stand in it." That's a really interesting psychological thing. Anyway, the joke one was, I think you're discounting the fact that It's possible that the cashier is just really attractive and people like heard about it and they all wanted to come and flirt with the cashier.
Yeah, that's a much better answer, I think, than either of mine. Probably more realistic.
All right, well, I think we exhausted all possible reasons for that answer. Do you have any other non-medical questions over there?
No, I clicked on the online marketing Quora hoping for a real change in pace, and all of the questions are about backlinks on websites, and I don't know what that means, so I think I'm done here. Let me go find
All
a
right,
different
let
one.
me. We're at an hour 10, so we could end in the near future.
Yeah. Oh, it took me
Um,
right back to where I was, and I got this
yeah.
tweezered pickle. Why is it
Okay.
zoomed in
Go.
so close?
Don't listen to that. No, no. Turn your face away from that. Let me describe. This will be the last one. So let's start with just the question, then we'll get into what else is here.
Uh-huh.
I'm curious to hear your answer to this question. Why do we study quantum mechanics
Uh-huh.
if nobody understands it?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. And I would pose that if we did understand it, no one would study it anymore because it would be understood. So I guess I don't know what this person. I don't know why this person chose quantum mechanics to ask about specifically because it sounds like they're struggling to understand what learning is, maybe. Like, why would I study something that I completely understood already? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yes, that's a reasonable point. Now, what really drew my eye about this question was that in the answer, I won't read the answer, but part of the answer, the person included a GIF,
Okay.
and I'm curious if this is something you've encountered before as someone who has studied quantum mechanics. So it's a GIF of a cube
Okay.
that is spinning. But out of each face of the cube, there's like a ribbon protruding and extending into the distance.
Is it just like a
Uh,
straight line, like rigid as it
no,
spins?
so like, what?
Is it staying rigid as it spins or like trailing along?
So the ribbons are like twisting so that the part that extends into the distance stays straight, but it still stays connected to the cube as the cube spins.
What?
Okay, imagine you had a cube.
Yeah,
Let's start there.
I'm
You have
with
a
you
cube.
there.
Now imagine there's a ribbon extending out of each face of the cube in all six directions.
Okay.
Now imagine you spun the cube.
Okay.
So some of the ribbons are going to have to like twist and bend in order to stay connected. If the part that's in the distance doesn't move, then the ribbons are going to have to twist and bend in order to stay connected to the cube, right?
So the ends of the ribbon is staying where they were originally, but like up close to the cube, it's twisting along to follow with the spinning of the cube.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm with you.
Um that's basically what the image is. Do you have any idea how this might be related to quantum mechanics?
I don't think that's related at all to quantum mechanics. That just sounds like a pretty cool GIF.
Let me share the GIF now that you've tried to picture it in your head. Sadly, the listeners can't all picture it.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Entire screen, this screen, share.
Whoa.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, this is not at all what I was picturing. That is trippy.
Okay, now you had the experience of trying to picture this from my description along with the listeners.
Yeah.
So now see if you can correct the description so that the listeners are picturing what's actually here.
Okay, let me try this. First of all, the cube is rotating around the z-axis, and the way the ribbon is much thicker than I imagined. It's like a full rectangular prism. There's like thickness to this ribbon. And it's colored what looks like purple and green. on its opposite side so that you can see which face is facing the camera. And the ribbons are attached to the cube at either horizontally or vertically on the face, and that does not change. And also, in the distance, each ribbon looks like it's laying flat horizontally, and that does not change. So although the attachments on the cubes are in different directions and the cube is spinning, the ribbons are like twisting and stretching as they move around in order to maintain the orientation that they're in, I guess. How is this happening?
While you're trying to
I feel
while
like
you're
it should
trying
be
to
getting
comprehend-
really twisted up, and it's just not.
while you're trying to understand this, I'll try and provide a little bit of context, which is that the person answering the question about why do we study quantum mechanics if nobody understands it,
Yeah.
has referenced this GIF in the context of an object that returns to the same configuration after a 720 degree, and then I assume spin is what they mean, but they don't say that. Classical anti-twister mechanisms do this too, and then that colon is showing this GIF. So this is apparently some kind of anti-twister mechanism.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at this is the classic anti-twister. This is in every elementary quantum mechanics textbook, animated just like this. Maybe the colors are different, and that was throwing me off. But yeah, wow, that's a little embarrassed to have missed that on first examination. Right up there with the hydrogen atom in terms of like canonical problems in introductory quantum mechanics. So,
And sorry, just out of curiosity, what is the hydrogen atom? And like I know what a hydrogen atom is, but what is a hydrogen atom in terms of a classical quantum mechanics problem?
so it's like a really simple. You're predicting the motion of the electron around the hydrogen atom, which is just a proton, the nucleus of a hydrogen atom, which is just a proton. And so that's like the simplest possible potential that you can describe is just like one point charge is generating the potential for another point charge to be moving around in. And you do things from the frame of reference of the proton so that that is literally still, and then you can calculate all the, it's like spherical harmonics and stuff give you all the various energy states of the electron orbiting the proton. And the second you throw in either more protons, like you could approximate heavier atoms as more protons with still a single electron, like they'd be weird ions of those heavier things, but like that's not truly what's happening, right? Because the protons are not literally points in space, so that's more complicated and you can't analytically solve. And if there are more electrons, then the electrons are interacting with each other. So like a hydrogen atom is the only exactly solvable thing because it is just like two effectively point charges that you can deal with in its entirety.
Got it.
Yeah.
Great description.
Thanks.
Okay, well, I think we're here at an hour 18. You feel like this is a good spot to end it?
I want to do one more thing to distract from my physics descriptions there so that the emails aren't just roasting me from our physics listeners. We'll give them one little distraction to keep them from like jumping into your email right away. And that is this last question: why do people judge others for doing things their own way, even when it doesn't affect them? I really want the listeners to take this one to heart.
You don't want to answer it. You just wanted to like a passive aggressive question ask.
Well, we can answer it. Do you have an answer?
Okay. So read the question again.
Why do people judge others for doing things their own way, even when it doesn't affect them?
Well, for me, sometimes, okay, I have this like chronic problem where like I really like being right. And I really like other people knowing that I'm right.
Yeah.
And so sometimes if somebody's doing something in a way different from how I would do it, I feel a compulsion to correct them so that they'll admire how right I am.
Yeah.
And I realize that saying that out loud obviously sounds very like I'm joking, like clearly no one actually thinks this way. And I don't consciously think that way, but I do believe that that is what is going on in my mind, and it requires some amount of mental effort for me to be like, this doesn't matter. I should not correct this person. It'll be worse if I correct them than if they just do it how they're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a pretty real answer. There's many, many ways in which my, satisfaction or dissatisfaction with the world is basically boils down to, do I think the right thing in my opinion is happening here? And since I'm right about everything, at any time, you just got to judge the things that aren't happening that aren't right.
And I think there's another aspect. This isn't something that I necessarily happens to me, but I think does happen to some people.
Yeah.
Which is they have like this like worldview that like things should be logical. And when things aren't logical, it upsets them.
Mm-hmm.
Or that people should be logical, and when they aren't, it upsets them.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think we answered the question.
Great.
That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Alex.
I'm Alex.
And this has been our podcast, Joel.